In Old Orchard Beach, Maine, there's a 1964 Dodge 330, a car said to have driven police officers, vandals, and even children to horrifying deaths. I'm talking lightning strikes, being ripped apart by semi-trucks, murder-suicides. The stories are absolutely relentless. Some say the vehicle itself is possessed, others think it's alive, and some even think it inspired Stephen King's Christine. I'm Sean.
I'm Kathy.
And I'm Chris.
And this is Weirder After Dark. So Kathy and Chris, have either of you seen Stephen King's Christine or read the book?
No.
So I definitely have heard of it. I don't think I've watched it, though.
Do you know the premise?
Yeah, the car is kind of like alive. I think it kills people.
Yeah.
Like people die.
Does. It fucking murders people.
It's a ghost car.
Yeah. The story of a killer car, specifically a 1958 Plymouth Fury. It's red, white with some gold trim. And from the moment it rolls off the assembly line, it is a rock and roll loving, bloodthirsty demon car. Like literally just out there killing people.
This is not the only story about cars being cursed or possessed, because James Dean's car, he was super into cars. That's how he died, was in a car crash. But then pieces of it got sold off, and then people who purchased those parts ended up having tragic deaths in their car. And they're all experienced drivers. One of them was an experienced race car driver, and I think it was the engine or some part of the James Dean car, and he ends up dying.
Who would have known there was a history of haunted vehicles, or the fact that a vehicle can even be haunted, or
Have you been paying attention during this podcast?
I know.
Everything is haunted.
Everything.
There's haunted ships, there's haunted tunnels, there's haunted boats. Now we have haunted cars.
Haunted woods.
Well, this is in fact a haunted car. And if you were to watch the movie Christine, the movie wastes no time telling us that it is a demon car from the second it's assembled. The movie opens up in an auto plant in 1957 in Detroit. You see one of the auto line workers leans into the car to inspect it. The hood's open. He has his hand on the engine block. He leans underneath the car to start looking and to inspect the underneath. And then the hood just drops, smashes his hand, blood's everywhere. He screams. It's not even off the line.
From the get-go.
From the get-go. Born, assembled, evil, which is just so good. And you'd think that if you just watched one of your coworkers get injured by this car, maybe you'd just be like, I'm going to stay away from this.
Yeah.
But no, you then see in the very next scene, you see a man watching his buddy walk away injured, smoking a cigar inside the auto plant. And I just want to call out 1950s smoking cigars inside the buildings. I forgot that was a thing. But
people used to smoke in the delivery rooms at hospitals, so.
I guess so.
Just chain smoking as your wife's giving birth.
They did.
I know.
Literally, that's smoking cigars in the hospital.
So gross. Well, this guy, he opens up Christine, he sits into the vehicle, closes the doors, still puffing his cigar, which again, I guess that fresh new cigar scent in the car, I guess. And he turns on the radio, and then he accidentally ashes his cigar, and it falls onto the seat. And then all of a sudden, this car, pissed, I guess, ashed on, you just see it all of a sudden cut to later on, the music's still playing in the car, and they're finding a dead body falling out of the car.
Shit.
So,
see? That's what he gets for seeing his friend get hurt, and it's just it's fine.
It's insane, right? So
don't ash in my car.
Don't ash in my car.
Don't ash in my
I'd kill you too.
That's it. So I think it's just so interesting that right off the bat, it's just there's something evil from the second this car was built.
So is the actual story like that, or is it?
Oh, Chris, just wait, man. We've got
now I'm excited.
Some interesting stuff going on here. So I want to keep running into the movie Christine because we're going to see some interesting parallels that I think will lead to an interesting conversation later on. One of our main characters, his name is Arnie Cunningham. He ends up finding this car on the side of the road. And Arnie is a bullied, awkward teenager who, once he sees this vehicle, he becomes completely obsessed with it and is I have to buy this car. And when he buys this car, it is wrecked, broken windshield, mirrors hanging off, lights off of it, barely can even turn on, but he just sees it and immediately is this is my car. So I need this car.
Not that this is a beautiful car, I need to own it, but there's something else there.
Yeah.
There's some kind of possession going on.
You got it.
All right.
He ends up buying the vehicle, and really quickly, the vehicle almost changes him. He goes from this awkward kid, he all of a sudden stops wearing his glasses. He doesn't need them anymore. Puts on a black leather jacket, looking like he's from the Grease movie. Starts dating like the hot chick. It's like he almost became like a personification of this really cool car as he was fixing it up. He's also becoming a dick. He just starts like yelling at his parents and like freaking the fuck out about stuff. He goes through this transformation. One of his friends ultimately goes back to the guy that bought it and is just like, what's wrong with this car? Like, it's changing my friend. And you come to find out that apparently the original car owner committed suicide in the vehicle.
Oh, shit.
Not only that, the car owner's daughter choked to death. His wife also committed suicide in the vehicle. So all of a sudden you start getting this context that, man, this vehicle has this like crazy dark history. Ultimately, the car gets vandalized by a bunch of bullies at school. And this is where all of a sudden the movie takes this like really crazy dark turn and becomes like an absolute fucking slasher film. Except instead of knives getting slashed, the car just goes apeshit and starts running people over. And I want to walk through kind of the murders that end up happening now on this stream, all right?
So it starts as this like psychological thriller and just goes full on
slasher movie, yes. So we have the first guy, Bully Juan Moochie Welch, ends up getting hunted down and crushed against a loading dock. And I'm saying that Christine the car on its own like slices this guy in half by driving into Bully Juan. The next bully that gets taken down is this guy, Richie. He's killed when Christine crashes herself into another car. That car flings Richie's body against a wall and murders him.
There's nobody driving at this point. The car's fully possessed.
Just fully possessed. And now the car isn't just directly killing people, it's like indirectly killing people as well too, which is like so cool. As Richie's body gets like flung from that other vehicle that hit him.
I need to watch this movie
because
I'm sure it's so good.
It's such a good watch. So then all of a sudden the car starts like leaking fuel and then it blows up this garage. And in that explosion, bully number 3 dies. His name is Don. But then the baddest of the bullies, this guy's name is Buddy, which is just hilarious. His buddy's the bad guy. He starts like running down the road after the explosion happens. And now Christine, the car, is like in this shop with the explosion. So you're like, oh, the car's fucked up.
It drives out of the explosion.
Drives out of the explosion, perfectly aflame. Drives down the road as Buddy's running away. And it runs Buddy over and then drives off, just flames spewing into the sunset. And then Buddy's body's left in the middle of the road like he's a piece of roadkill, just on fire burning. It's just like completely 3 minutes of straight slasher car murder.
I love
people.
This. I love everything about this.
I love Stephen King's mind.
He's good.
He's so whacked.
He gets better. So the car, aflame, drives back to the garage where Arnie's keeping it, and the car parks itself into the garage to where it's supposed to be. Now, the owner of the garage just happens to be there and sees like the door open, the car park and stuff, and is like, someone stole the car. So he grabs his shotgun, he walks up to the car, getting ready to like do it. He opens up the car door, no one's in there. So this car now that's like smoking from like the fire, it was just lit flame. Apparently, the best idea for this guy to do is like, I'm going to sit in the car.
Oh, yes.
So he sits in the car and he's just like, has his hands on the steering wheel.
He's like, this is such a cool car.
Such a cool car, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Christine takes the seat. It like moves its seat forward and crushes his body against the steering wheel. Yeah, this is all within like 5 minutes.
Why is she so angry?
I don't know. All in all, by the end of the film, 10 people die, either directly or indirectly to this car. So you might be like, Sean, why did we spend like 5 minutes talking through this film?
Because it's fucking awesome. That's why.
Sick. So that's my recommendation. If you haven't watched Christine, watch it. I had a whole bag of popcorn. I was just destroying it like, yes. It was actually pretty okay.
If you're not into the Hallmark movies or the Christmas Carol, watch Christine.
No, we need to call Slashback Cinema and make sure they've done this movie.
I know, right? Right?
It's so good.
It was a banger. So I started asking myself, like, where did this idea come from? Was this inspired by a true event? Like, how did Stephen King concoct 6 minutes of pure hell of a car just murdering people? I think it's like super interesting because I was doing some research on Stephen King, and apparently he's always been pretty open that his stories and his ideas are often inspired by real places, real fear, actual legends. And he's on the record and actually said that. Give a couple examples. One, Salem's Lot. This was actually inspired by Mercy Brown's case in Rhode Island. And Stephen King actually ran through a thought experiment of what would happen if Dracula actually showed up in a New England town. And that's what kind of inspired Salem's Lot from the beginning. So Kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Pet Cemetery was inspired by a real cemetery right next to King's home in Maine, along with apparently his very real fear of his kids being hit by a car on the road right next to his house. Apparently, a lot of animals were being hit, causing the roadkill, and that's what kind of inspired that movie. There was also some loose influences from local Wabanaki legends. They weren't directly tied into the story, but you could see some of their atmosphere that they created, those legends did into the movie. With those examples in mind, it raised an interesting question to me. When Stephen King wrote Christine, did he reach into that same bag of local fears or legends? Could there have been a real story, a real rumor that helped fuel the idea of the killer car? And that's what our story today is going to be about.
Yeah, let's get into this. This is getting weird.
This story is of Maine's Golden Eagle, and the story allegedly starts in Old Orchard Beach, Maine in the early 1960s. Now, Old Orchard Beach is a small coastal town. It was and still is to this day a resort town. During the summer, it's loud, it's crowded, maybe a little rough around the edges, and during the winter, not a lot going on.
Yeah, I've been up there. It's nice little coastal town.
It actually features 7 miles of public beach and is actually one of the longest stretches of public beaches in all of New England. And it's super easily accessible by crane.
Is that your usual mode of transportation?
I love taking cranes everywhere.
By to be hoisted and then just airdropped.
Sean, I would take the train.
Yes.
If I were you.
It was supposed to say easily accessible by train and car. To maintain this explosion in tourism that happens during the summer, you can imagine that the local police force needs to be well equipped.
Yeah.
So to prepare in the 1960s, the local police force was on the market for a new cruiser. So they went out and they purchased one, a 1964 Dodge 330. It was brand new. It's a super heavy vehicle built like a tank, and the station gives the car the nickname the Golden Eagle.
Okay, quick side story. Hampton Beach has the same problem where in the summer they don't have enough police officers. It's kids can get a little rowdy. So they took a bunch of cadets or people going to college to be police officers and made them part-time police officers just for the summer months. Huge disaster. Lots of lawsuits.
Did not go well.
People had no idea what they were doing. They were way too rough. They abandoned it after a couple of years.
Oh, man. Well, that actually took a better turn than this story is going to go.
All right.
Yeah. So they call it the Golden Eagle. Any guesses as to why they call the vehicle the Golden Eagle?
No.
Because it was gold?
It was not gold. It was actually silver. I couldn't find a real account to why they called it the Golden Eagle, so I landed with was America. What screams authority like an eagle?
A golden
Eagle.
And either way, badass name for a legend.
He's drinking Budweiser.
Yeah.
And the original cans.
Yeah.
With his like t-shirt with the sleeves cut off.
I love it. At first, for the Old Orchard Police Department, nothing strange happens at all. They've got a new cruiser, super cool. And they're using it for routine police work, rolling through the town at night, pulling over drunk drivers, keeping the beach partiers in check, probably snacking on some donuts under the street lights, getting super romantic as officers do. And everything.
I've always wondered what they do underneath that street light when they're just sitting there.
Eating the donuts.
All of this is ringing true.
Yeah. Everything's mundane and normal, just like you'd expect, until it wasn't. According to the legend, the officers assigned to the Golden Eagle started to change. Not in the same dramatic way like Arnie from the Christine movie, where all of a sudden he goes from complete fucking nerd to like badass bagging baddies. This was a slow transformation, and it was personality shifts, just small little things. Officers got quieter, more irritable, short-tempered at home, and people started to kind of take notice. And some of the officers even started complaining about feeling a little different around the Golden Eagle itself. But no one pieced anything really together at all. After all, think about it, being a police officer. It's not easy work, yelling at drunk people all day, or cases that maybe are better suited for someone in the mental health field and having to work through that. As you said, Chris, it's stressful. It's not one of the easiest jobs out there. But then the death starts. 3 officers who regularly drove the Golden Eagle eventually ended up murdering their families. What? And then killed themselves.
Whoa. 3?
3.
That took a turn.
Wow.
Yes.
Ooh, that got dark.
And it all happened over like a short 2 or 3 year period that all this happened. And to clarify, 3 different homes, 3 separate crimes, 3 different years that these murder-suicides occurred in.
And they all drove this car.
All drove the Golden Eagle. There had to be something unique and strange happening. 1 murder-suicide in a small town.
Weird.
Yeah.
3 inside of the same police department. Really fucking weird.
All driving the same vehicle.
All driving the same vehicle.
Man.
So just trying to do something or have some sense of control over the situation, the police department decides that they're getting rid of the Golden Eagle. They don't explain it. They don't address rumors. They don't go public. They just decide we're selling the car.
I'd love to see the internal affairs.
Oh, yeah, about the investigations.
Yeah.
I just picture the side of the Golden Eagle, instead of protect and serve, it's to punish and destroy.
Yeah, I love that. So they just sell the car and they sell it at auction. And they are hoping at this point that whatever followed the Dodge 330 into the police station is just all the problems are ultimately going to leave with it. But the story doesn't end here because this isn't an ordinary car. This car is alive. The Golden Eagle changes hands a few times before the owner is a Wendy Allen. Wendy and her family are Saco, Maine locals. Big family, and I mean really big family. Apparently she had almost a dozen brothers and sisters. And this is where the story takes a weirder turn than, 3 murder-suicides.
Doesn't get darker than that, Sean. Where are you going?
It does. It does. According to the legend, the car never hurts Wendy. She drives it. She parks it out in the open. She doesn't hide it. She doesn't try to bless it, cleanse it, pray over it, or get rid of it. She just is kind of like, this is a car that has some weird history, and I'm cool with it, right?
It has only killed men, huh?
Yeah, maybe it likes women.
Interesting.
And for whatever reason, the Golden Eagle is just cool with it. It's like, what up, Wendy? How you doing, girl? But other people aren't. By now, the story of the Golden Eagle is out. People have heard the rumors, the murder-suicides, the idea that this car is possessed, cursed, or worse. Folks, they want it gone. Some are scared of it. Some are angry. Some are just convinced it's straight up the devil.
So wait a minute. So she's driving this car, and she's like, yeah, it's just a car.
It's just a car. Yeah.
And everybody in town's like, get rid of the car. It's a fucking devil.
Murder car. Yeah, I don't want the murder car in my town.
I'm split.
Yeah,
like,
right? Like,
okay, yeah, she's a reasonable person.
Yeah.
And I'm a little scared of the car.
Yeah, me too. Me
All
too.
right.
That's exactly where I am. So the lore of the car, it's spreading. And it spreads to a local nearby church. And this church becomes convinced the Golden Eagle is possessed and that it shouldn't exist. And that letting it sit inside of their town is just dangerous. So eventually, the church...
I'm sorry. This is getting really good.
It only gets better, Chris. It only gets better from here. So eventually the church stops talking about the Golden Eagle and they decide to start messing with it. So they scratch.
That's a good idea.
I'm just picturing all these nuns just messing with this car.
I know, it's so
Get out of here, devil car.
Leave us alone. Holy water on it. so they
blessing the car wash.
Yeah. Oh my God. We fill the car wash with holy water. The local members of this church, they scratch it, they break the windows, they spray paint crosses and warnings across the body.
These are holy people.
Yeah.
They're acting like hoodlums.
Yeah.
Pastor Brown's in the driveway again. Could you come get him? Spray paint my car.
So the family, as you can imagine, the Allen family and Wendy, they're pissed.
Yeah.
They're like, stop fucking with our car. It's just a car, dude. Like, what the hell? And they're like, you just need to get over it. We're not doing it. So they just keep fixing the car. So this happens, and they're like, no, dude, we're not getting rid of this.
I love this. This is such small town New England.
Yeah.
It's like the church is mad at your car. There's nothing we can do.
There's nothing we can do about it. But then shit gets crazy.
Okay.
Now it gets crazy.
Now it's getting crazy.
You gotta stop saying that because I don't know how much crazier it can get.
The people who vandalize the car, bad things start happening to them.
Good.
No, Chris.
No, okay.
Not with what happens.
Really bad?
Really bad.
Right.
One vandal is reportedly hit by an 18-wheeler so violently that they're decapitated by the impact.
I take back what I said. That's not good. I was thinking like they fell down or...
I can't help but laugh.
I actually Googled to see if that happens.
Did it happen? Oh, thank God, because I would have felt really bad.
There were some 18-wheeler accidents where cars got split in half, but I couldn't find one where a man got actually decapitated by, at least not in Maine. I didn't check the whole U.S. But,
all because they threw a rock at a car.
Yeah. Another gets hit by a different car and dies. Different roads, different days, but same results for the individuals who vandalized the car. And that's when people started saying the Golden Eagle doesn't actually need to kill anyone itself, that it has the power to indirectly murder people who do it harm, which is pretty crazy. The road, though, and other cars aren't the only thing that the Golden Eagle seems to be able to control. because one vandal who openly mocked the stories of the car and apparently did some of the spray painting apparently got struck by lightning. So apparently this golden eagle can control the weather as well too.
Getting struck by lightning is such a strange thing, right?
Yeah.
It's so uncommon.
Yeah.
And against the bigger story, it's like, ooh, that's an eerie detail.
That was a hard one for me to fact check because people get struck by lightning.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell, like, does every person get struck by lightning? Did they fuck with this car? I can't prove it nor deny that claim. In some versions of the legend, though, several of the younger vandals get hit by other vehicles and their bodies fling through the air and end up slammed against the golden eagle. So Wendy and her family just out driving.
It's just random people hit the car.
They get hit by a different car and it like pulls the body towards the golden eagle and then they just die on the vehicle.
This car's got quite a body count at this point.
It does. It does.
Jeffrey Dahmer has nothing on this car.
It's a murderer. It is a cold murderer.
Can you imagine just like driving to the grocery store? You're just like, you get some like nice listening music on, just having chit-chatting with your family, and all of a sudden like a poof, like your body comes flying at you.
I cannot
That's
imagine.
the third one this week.
and not just once, like multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times, allegedly.
And they're like, no, we're keeping the car.
Yeah. In another telling, a teenager obsessed with the car named Matthew Cushing goes to see it for himself. He stares at it, he touches it, he sits inside, and then not long after, he goes home and stabs his family to death and then sets the entire house on fire.
Whoa. So this kid's really disturbed, heard the legends of this car, and was drawn to the legends and then killed his family.
Yes.
Or the car changed him.
It's one of these
crazy.
He was always looking for a reason to kill his family.
Maybe he just didn't like his family. Yeah. With the death toll continuously rising, the community feels that it needs to take some type of action. They're desperate. They're convinced this car is demonic. So again, members of the local church and the community decide it's time to act, and this time differently. They're not just going to vandalize it. They're going to take it apart. So they actually dismantle the car piece by piece, frame, engine, body panels. They take the parts and they sell some of them. They scatter others across multiple junkyards so they can't be gathered back up and pieced back together.
On the one hand, this is so ridiculous and so unjuvenile. On the other hand, this car keeps racking up horrific events
at the same time. Magnetically pulled to to it as they die.
Yeah.
Maybe we dismantle the car.
I love this story.
Me too. Me too.
So ridiculous.
So their hope here is this demonic muscle car will never be able to kill again.
Or they just created a bunch of different demons.
Yes.
Oh my God, they didn't think about that, did they? So it doesn't work. Not believing the curse that demons are real, that the legend is real at all, Wendy Allen tracks down every single part of the vehicle that she can find and rebuilds the Golden Eagle bolt by bolt.
I think this bitch is being possessed by
I'm
the car.
sorry. That's what I was going to say. Like, that's a little possessive to just go buy a new car.
Right? But here's the thing. After it's put back together, the Golden Eagle's back on the road. But this time, it's a different outcome. The death stops. There's no more murders. There's no more crashes, no more lightning. Just small weird things. Wendy claimed that the doors would open up on the highway by themselves, and so would the trunk.
Okay.
That's not weird.
Yeah. But other than that,
weird.
The car itself stopped murdering people. And it was almost like maybe the Golden Eagle learned its lesson. Okay, I'll stop murdering. I'll stop murdering.
I'll start going to church.
It's like a child not behaving.
Yeah. And that's the legend of Maine's Golden Eagle. That's like the story that's out there. This is the legend.
So you said she tried to get all the pieces. Did she get all the pieces, or were some people missing?
Well, let's dive in to
I'm wondering,
see if this is real.
If she didn't get all the pieces, what pieces did she not get?
Yeah. Well, let's dive in, because I was left after reading this, A, laughing, but B, also like, is it real? Could it be real? Could a car be haunted, possessed by a demon? Could it be bad luck? Could all of this happen? So I decided to go line by line and fact check this story, because I currently had nothing to do on a Saturday night other than fact check this legend.
If anything about this is true, I am petrified.
Be scared, Chris.
Damn it.
Be scared. So my first fact check was this. Would a 1964 Dodge 330 LE be purchased by a police police force and be used as a cruiser? Like, let's just start with the basics.
Oh, yeah,
Does it even make sense that this would be used as a police vehicle? After doing some research, it is plausible. The Dodge 330 was a full-size car that included V6 and V8 models that could carry heavy loads, and the 330 was a trim that was marketed as a fleet vehicle, meaning it was sold to be used as more than just a modern family sedan. In fact, Dodge, Ford, and Chevys all sold police packaged versions of their vehicles for a lot of the sedans inside of their lineup. And these would include heavy-duty suspensions, heavy-duty brake, added cooling, and AM radios so they could communicate, what was going on. Yeah. Now, most local police stations in Maine ran Fords or Chevys, but I did see that smaller towns with smaller budgets might just go rogue and have to buy whatever they could get their hands on. So with all of that, could the local Old Orchard, Maine police station have bought a Dodge 330 LE? Plausible.
Yeah.
Already a stronger start than I thought. What a crazy story like this.
That I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. So my next fact check. What about the 3 police officer murder-suicides? Clearly, this would have had to have made all newspapers, having occurred in the 1960s and 80s. It's not like it was like the 1700s and there might not be a record. There would be a record for this. Several sites I found covering this legend claim that Bruce G. Savoy was one of the police officers who actually committed one of the murder-suicides. So I actually researched this guy's name. And guess what?
He's real.
He's real.
Oh.
And he was a police officer in Old Orchard, Maine. He did murder his wife.
Oh.
What?
Yeah. And he did kill himself. However, it was in 2009.
Oh.
Not in the 1960s and 1980s when this allegedly all occurred.
Okay.
So for me, when I started seeing this, I was like, ooh, weird that something happened. But I could find no other evidence of a murder-suicide where the police was one of the perpetrators occurring during the correct time periods. So for me, this portion of the story, legend. But I didn't want to quit there, right? We know that sometimes there are stories that have truths and things get added. So I was like, maybe that was something that got added and there's still other facts to the story. So fact check number 3. What about all the random deaths tied to the Dodge 330?
Yeah.
And what about the Matthew Cushing murdering his family? Are they real? Well, when it comes to the people dying on the hood of the Golden Eagle or being struck by lightning or ripped in half by 18-wheelers after vandalizing the car, I couldn't find any direct ties to touching a car leading directly to death.
Okay.
No surprise. But Matthew Cushing, that's another name in this story. This has some legs.
Okay.
Unlike the guy who got decapitated. In 2008, Matthew Cushing did in fact murder his mother, his stepfather, his stepbrother, and did set the entire house on fire.
Oh, shit.
Cushing actually admitted to the killings and was sentenced in 2009. However, there are 0 ties with evidence that tie him back to Wendy Allen's 1964 Dodge 330. And it happened in 2008. Again, not during the 1960s and 1980s where these legends supposedly took off.
Okay, so a bunch of tragedy loosely tied into this car.
Yeah.
That's easily fact-checked.
So at this point, I'm losing hope, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, there's no real history. There's nothing tied here.
No, we like this answer.
Yeah, it's fair.
He's all upset.
I wanted to be real. I wanted to be something here, right? I want ghosts to be real. So I was about to chalk this up as 100% legend, fake, nothing to it. But I decided to do one more search. Nice. And the search was, is Wendy Allen real? Did she own a 1964 Dodge 330 LE? And y'all, this is where this takes a fucking crazy ride. She's real. She's a real woman, and she does, in fact, own a 1964 Dodge 330 LE, and it does have an accident record. Crazier fact, guess what Wendy's middle name is?
Christine?
Christine. Wendy Christine Allen. Just like that, I was back in, gang. I was like, this is real. So I started doing some research on Wendy to try and find some information on her take. Does she think her vehicle is haunted? Is it a murder machine? Like, what's the actual history? To my utter surprise and shock, Wendy hosts an entire website called lcat.com where she blogs about her fiction writing, the events in her life, and how a bulldozer illegally bulldozed her entire house. Reading her site, though, I just want to warn you all, if you go there, it's a wild ride. And instead of talking about the website, because we'll go down a weird well there, I'm going to focus on what happened to her Dodge 330 LE. And I want to read through her claims and her timeline of the story. Wendy claims the first accident connected to the Golden Eagle happened in 1968, and that was even before Wendy was born. Allegedly, her uncle, Mervyn Bruce Atwater, was 6 years old when he tried to kill his 2-year-old sister, Barbara Jean, by throwing her off a train overpass. And as he pushed her off the overpass, there was a car going by, and Barbara Jean landed on the car. That was the Golden Eagle. Luckily, Barbara Jean survived, but when asked why he tried to kill his sister, Bruce claimed he saw Satan was sitting on the hood of the car, telling him to commit the act. Now, Wendy emphasizes this is the only verified accident ever associated with the car. There are no other deaths at all. She said she ran the VIN, zero other accidents, just her uncle almost killing her aunt. She does claim that after the accident, her uncle Bruce became obsessed with the event, weaving a web of stories that would fuel decades of local hysteria. Bruce would claim the car was haunted, that demons lived inside it, and that later that an alien called Itoli haunted the vehicle. And she claims in later years that he would spread hundreds of posts, both via writing articles as well as online, spreading these stories. In an incredibly weird turn of events, Wendy's father would end up purchasing the Golden Eagle. That's right, the one that her uncle saw the devil on, the one that almost killed her aunt, is the same car that he ended up purchasing. The car had come in as a trade, and it already carried the legend about the 3 police officers, as well as a dozen hit-and-run deaths.
Okay, so he purchased it as a investment because he thought with all this backstory, he's going to
Yeah, maybe an investment, but also maybe local ties to his family. Being like, man, like this was something crazy in my family.
Why in the world is he buying that car?
Right? So it gets weirder, though. Based on Wendy's claim, when her father did decide to purchase it, he was apparently in some type of legal trouble of some sort. So much so that he didn't register the car in his name. He registered it in Wendy's name. Now, that's super interesting because at the time of the purchase, Wendy was only 3 years old. Apparently, you could just register cars in 3-year-olds' names back then, and nothing more was ever asked of it. Her father allegedly drove the car for years, and nothing crazy or strange happened to it. But afterwards, it ended up sitting unused in her family's rose garden, and it sat there for years, still owned by Wendy. And the only use the vehicle ever got was Wendy would use it as a playhouse for her and her dolls. And it kind of just sat inside of their yard.
Okay, this is deep connection between this family and this car now.
Now, the story's about to take another weird turn, so stay with me here. Allegedly, the same year that her father purchased the car, Wendy and her cousins helped a local zookeeper search for an escaped albino monkey. And during the adventure, they discovered a homeless man living in the swamp. The kids told their parents about the find and brought their parents out into the swamp. Well, they never found the homeless man. Now, I'm going to read the next few paragraphs verbatim from Wendy's website. Wendy writes, as the weeks went by, we children became obsessed with finding the man and proving the adults that he was real. A few weeks later, they found a den full of bones, human leg bones that were being used as digging tools. Excited, the children dragged the adults back into the swamp to show them the den of bones and prove once and for all there was a naked man living in the swamp. We young toddlers did not expect the terrified reaction of the adults. The adults armed themselves with rifles and spent weeks with the local police ripping the swamp to shreds with machetes, looking for the homeless man who was using human leg bones as digging tools.
And as they should.
Yeah. Local news reports claimed cannibals in Old Orchard Beach on their headlines, but that was soon redacted as the bones turned out to be from graves over 400 years old that ultimately ended up just getting washed up. The adults now believe the children know that there was a homeless man in the swamp, and they continued to build up wild rumors of who it was and why they were there. Most parents on Portland Ave in Old Orchard Beach believed he was a kidnapper who ate children, and that was the running rumor for a while, until a hurricane hit. The swamp flooded, ocean waters surged through the town, and the homeless man ended up having to flee the swamp due to the rising waters. He came out of the forest for the first time and decided to hide in the first thing he could see, Wendy's 1964 Dodge 330 that was sitting on the high hill in the rose garden outside of her house. Wendy noticed him, and after noticing him, she ended up giving him food, and I eventually gave him a spare key to the car and let him sleep there at night. She was just 5 years old at this point, and she noticed that he was sick and near starvation, so she started just regularly bringing him food and water, and when he wasn't in the car, she would leave it on a stump outside of the swamp. And apparently, the stump is still there, and 50 years later, she still leaves food on it to this day. Now, she claims that at the time of the events, he must have been somewhere between 30 or 50, this homeless guy. But today, as she was writing this post, in 2023, she says he appears to be close to 100 years old. So he continued to live in the car all the way through 2010 when a local church group appeared in her yard to chop up the car while yelling, "Kill the demon," and rambling on about how they had to kill the car in order to kill the demon that possessed it.
So that part is true.
allegedly.
Wow.
So today, Wendy claims that the car itself is chopped up in pieces and wrapped up in parts in storage, waiting for the day that she will have the estimated $57,000 to rebuild it. And she says, while I have owned the car since 1975, I have never in my life driven it, and it has spent its time since 1975 sitting in my garden, acting as the shelter to a homeless man who slept in it at night. In short, the car is not haunted. So after the fact check and after hearing Wendy's story, where does this leave us as far as this whole story's connection to Christine? The story has to be the inspiration for Stephen King's 1983 book and 1984 film, right?
Right.
Like, it's in Maine. There's so many cool threads, right? It has to be there. Although some online sources and local legends try to connect the Maine Golden Eagle story to Stephen King's Christine, King himself has never indicated that there was any real-life haunted car or that he was aware of the story of the Golden Eagle or that it inspired his novel and movie. According to King's own accounts, Christine began as a story idea sparked by looking at his odometer the moment that he noticed his car went from 9,999 miles to 10,000. He started thinking to himself, what would it be like if a car got younger instead of getting older? And that kind of queued up the idea from what if a car came to life and it could be alive?
Yeah.
And that's what led to him ultimately coming up with this story. Now, it's important to note, though, that King did grow up in Durham, Maine, only about 1 hour north of Old Orchard. Could he have heard stories about the Golden Eagle? Could this urban legend have inspired the movie? Possibly. He says no, but maybe. I think there's also a chance, Chris, you said earlier, can horror movies or books inspire legends?
Yes.
And I wonder if Wendy's uncle Bruce claimed to have seen the devil on this car and told him to murder his sister. And then a couple years later, Stephen King's movie about a murderous car came out. Could that have fed into his story and his beliefs and caused him to write tons of articles and publish on the internet backing up his claims to the devil being real on the car that day?
That whole story is so strange. Like, he almost murdered his sister. He's got all this guilt and shame and almost created this built-in religious excuse so people could understand.
Yeah, it's wild. It's a wild ride. And I don't know what's true and what's not true because with all due respect to Wendy, when you go through and you read her site, it's chaos. There's a lot going on there. And that's where I'm going to leave the commentary on that.
Right.
It's out there. If you're interested, look it up the story and go see it for yourself. Either way, true or not true, crazy legend and a crazy fucking story. And that's our story today on the Golden Eagle and its potential maybe ties to Stephen King's Christine.
So much just happened.
It's chaos. It is just a pure chaotic story.
I'm not sure what to comment. Yeah, I'm just like sitting here. I'm like, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Just say that all of this is legend. None of this is true, right? It's just a regular car. The fact that it's had so much storytelling for that long. I mean, we're talking about 40 years of legends that came from this one car.
Yeah.
That is a story in
it's
itself.
Insane. And how crazy to think that one person, all it would take is one person to manifest a legend that an entire country, an entire state, an entire town believes. How wild is that?
In a multi-million-dollar movie.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
And it was a kid.
At the time.
At the time. Like, it wasn't even like an intentional thing. It was just something that he said.
Yeah. Wendy does claim that her uncle was mentally ill.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. So
he did throw his sister off an overpass. So that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of why.
With that, is this tied to Christine? Is it not tied to Christine? Did it inspire Stephen King? Stephen King will say no. So I'm going to take Stephen King's word.
When was the book written?
It came out in 1983 is when it was published. The movie came out in 84. And Wendy became the owner in 1975.
And so, and all these events happened in like the 50s, 60s. Yeah. So, I mean, he could have subconsciously not even have realized that like he overheard having a conversation
the story
or something.
And then a parts of the story and then thought it was an original piece of work. Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, because I mean, like, think about like how many conversations we overhear that we subconsciously probably pick up that we don't realize. Yeah. You know what I mean?
True.
But knowing that it wasn't intentionally.
Here's my take onto this. I believe Stephen King because he has come out and said that he has drawn inspiration from real legends. And I gave a couple examples at the very beginning of that, right?
Yeah.
Why would he admit to those and deny this one if that was the truth at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So is it more likely that Stephen King is lying about it? Or could a mentally ill man try to take credit for the inspiration behind the book and manifested these stories for his own fame and started publishing online and
when you put it like that, it seems more more likely that a mentally ill man probably is trying to take credit for Stephen King's work.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So me digging into the story, that's my conclusion. The internet disagrees.
All right.
But that's kind of the take onto it I've got.
Yeah.
Any final reactions?
I mean,
it's pretty chaotic.
Final reaction, I need to watch the movie
Mhm.
because that needs to happen.
Yeah.
I kind of love the story. I don't know if it's true or not of Wendy like having this car and like the rose garden and using it as a playhouse, and now she has it, and then now it's just in pieces.
And she does have pictures of the vehicle on her website, but she claims that anyone who uses the picture is illegally stealing all of her credit and she will sue them. So I'm not going to post it.
We are not going to do
on her
that.
Instagram.
You can go to her
Even though
website.
I don't think it works like that, but we're not going to take it. Yeah. So if you want to see images, do not visit our Instagram.
Because we won't have them.
Yeah.
Oh, what a crazy story. And put aside any of it being true, just the legend and the lore and the longevity of it and the different tellings. It's definitely a cool story.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Agreed.
Well, I hope you two enjoyed it. And gang, we hope you enjoyed the story as well. If you did, be sure to go ahead and visit our Instagram, where I'll be posting something to support this episode.
Just not the pictures
Just
from her
not the
website.
picture, because I don't want to get sued. So that won't be there. But we'll go ahead and we'll find some other things to get up on there to support this episode. And don't forget, it's not only Instagram. We are out there building some community. So that means that you can visit us on Reddit, Instagram, and Facebook. Again, that is at Weirder After Dark. And you can come talk to us and other people who are enjoying these episodes just like you. And remember, we are always on the lookout and the hunt for your weird New England stories. Have you ever driven a murder machine? Have you accidentally drove an 18-wheeler, hit a person, and split them absolutely in half? If so, send us that story, and you can send it to thegang@weirderafterdark.com.
Just don't send pictures.
We will,
No pictures.
We will share it on an upcoming episode.
No, we won't.
Probably not. But send us your weird New England stories.
Actually, I'm into it.
And if you are loving this shit, if you are absolutely in love with this shit, the best thing you can do for us is to drop a 5-star review wherever you are listening and leave a little reaction. Say, hey, Kathy, I loved your take. Hey, Chris, you're right. Legends being born like this is cool. Sean, stop sharing these weird fucking stories. Whatever it is, we want to hear it. And as always, it always gets a little weirder after dark.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.